Hey everyone, Justin Smith here, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on Touchdown Alabama's YouTube page. If you're not subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button below for me. Also, be sure to leave a like whether you are subscribed or not. The process Crimson Tide recruiting will not air this week due to the holidays. Of course, the process is Touchdown Alabama's premier recruiting show, which airs on Tuesday and Thursday evening. We will hold off on the process, but we'll continue to provide you guys with recruiting coverage as we will provide video breakdowns throughout the week of the Tide's 24 signees. And the first signee we want to talk about is Keanu Koht, the 4-star defensive end out of Vero Beach High School in Vero Beach, Florida. In these video breakdowns, we will discuss what each signee brings to the table, also discuss what their future could look like in Tuscaloosa. Starting with Koht, he's a guy that stands at 6'6" and weighs 225 pounds. So just looking at his impressive frame, it is pretty clear that he fits the mold, fits the build of what the Tide is looking for in outside linebackers and edge rushers. This is a kid who also possesses long arms, and he uses those long arms to his advantage, and you guys can see that on his highlight films, his senior highlight film as it is currently being played. He uses those arms to make sure offensive linemen do not get an advantage over him. He's going to use his strength to throw a lot of offensive linemen off of him on the rush, so you can tell he possesses a great amount of strength. I think his biggest strength is his ability to play in space. Koht can play sideline to sideline. He also breaks down in space pretty well, and that's going to help him at the next level, because in situations where he is going to be one-on-one with those shifty, explosive players in the SEC, he is going to need to make sure that he breaks down, make sure that he is not caught in a bad position when it comes to those guys who can make you look really foolish in the open field. So him knowing that he has to break down, make sure he's in a great position to make those tackles is huge for him at this point in his game. So I think that is his biggest strength, his ability to play in space. I think he has great athleticism to go along with that 6'6", 225-pound frame. He will enroll at the University of Alabama in January as an early enrollee, so he will get the opportunity to go through the full offseason program with the Crimson Tide, participate in A-Day, the Tide's annual spring game. And I think he's going to really benefit from the Tide's strength and conditioning program under David Ballou and Matt Rhea, because he's going to be able to add some muscle and add some more weight possibly to that frame during his short time in Tuscaloosa from January to the summer, have an advantage over some of the guys who will enroll in the summer. There is a possibility that Koht could come into a loaded outside linebacker room for the Crimson Tide, because you have to look at Will Anderson coming back. There is a possibility that Chris Allen could come back, especially with the NCAA implementing a rule that current players this year would not count against their eligibility. So Chris Allen is a guy who could come back. Ben Davis is a guy who could come back. And just looking at the amount of outside linebacker talent the Tide brought in the 2020 recruiting class, looking at guys like Drew Sanders to go along with Will Anderson, along with Quandarius Robinson, Chris Broswell as well. Just looking at that impressive group, the outside linebacker group could be pretty loaded for the Tide. But some of those guys still have to make a name for themselves because they haven't been working to the rotation heavily, especially when you look at Chris Broswell and Quandarius Robinson. You also look at King and Recruiter. So the Tide's outside linebacker room could be pretty crowded, and you're going to have to fight to get playing time. But I think it is a chance. The door is going to be open a little bit, because if you come in ready to play, Nick Saban and the Tide's coaching staff have shown that they are willing to play freshmen who are ready to play. So Koht has a chance. I think every freshman has a chance now. Freshmen play at Alabama, and I think that is pretty evident at this point. So I am interested to see how Keanu Koht works into the Alabama football program. We're going to see him make some strides early it seems with him enrolling early, with him enrolling in January. I'm excited to see how he fits within the Tide's outside linebacker room. We'll continue to provide video breakdowns of recruits throughout the week of the Tide's 24 signees. Of course, I personally think Koht is a huge get. I think his senior highlight film speaks for itself. So I am excited to see what he does at the next level. As always, I am Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine.